Hello and welcome to Talks a Lot Entertainment, Corey's Corner. That's right, we're doing this on a Saturday. It's been a while. We missed quite a few of these, yes, indeed. And Jason should be here eventually. Just saying. Um, yeah. Happy Saturday, everyone. This should be a good show. I have an interesting topic to talk about. But before we get going, I just want to say that there is a new goal over on my Ko-Fi side. Right here, you'll see it. It's $125 for the Psychology of Entertainment textbook. And it is, of course, a textbook about exactly that. And as it says here, if you know me, then you know I nerd out on psych textbooks more than nerdrotic on pop culture. And it will help me to develop both my psychological knowledge and the quality of entertainment you see here and analysis you see in general on Talks a Lot Entertainment and other channels that I happen to be on. I do have a master's degree in clinical psychology, so this textbook will be a fairly easy read for me. But that being said, I am looking forward to getting this textbook. So if you guys would like to help out, then go ahead and hit the Ko-Fi link that's in the live chat. I think I forgot to put it in the description, so I don't think that'll help very much. And yes, by the way, this is my baby face. Hey, if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the cutoff. It was hilarious, at least from subjective reports. One of my best live streams ever, according to subjective reports. So go check that out. Should be an interesting time. Hail to TZ Burton over in the chat. Great to see you, sir. Just gotta push some buttons here. Make sure I'm not missing anybody on the Rumble side. All right. I hope you're doing fabulous on this wonderful Saturday morning, afternoon, wherever you're at. Maybe even evening if you're further out than the East Coast. Yeah. I'll just go ahead and get started on the topic. We'll wait for Jason to show up to dive deeply into it. But from what I've noticed, the world has needed heroes and stories thereof since the dawn of time. It provides them with a moral structure. It provides us with entertainment, of course. It provides us with hot topics within current year, but also provides us with an understanding of humanity. And no, I'm not putting too much emphasis on the importance of heroes within our culture, because realistically, heroes is what we use to define ourselves a lot of the time. Now, as we've seen in the recent push of superhero garbage that's coming out, we see a shift in the morals and the shift in the ideology and all of this stuff, and that's become the primary focus of any type of hero stories that we're seeing. The problem there being that instead of reflecting a basic human decency that heroes used to show, Superman with his basically unequaled power, but still maintaining his ability to be a kind, good, upstanding person and not kill people. That used to be one of the paramount heroes we would go to. He was the example of a good hero. I got some fuzzy. Oh, that's a hole. Man, this is my favorite shirt too. Damn. Anyway, hail to Nate D. How you doing? He says, hail babyface Corey. What's up, dude? Got a little bit of peach fuzz going on. I'm going to shave here in a little bit. It'll be all right. We used to look to Batman to understand incorruptibility. Of course, I'm speaking of the Western world more than anything, because I'm sure they've got heroes in third world countries, but I don't know anything about that, and I don't really care, because I am an American, and I care about, entertainment-based heroes providing an understanding of what it means to be a decent human being, especially in really hard situations. TZ Burton says, we watched Cory shave the beard. Big crowd. It was pretty big. I topped out at 19 people watching my live stream at one time, which is huge for me, because my previous best was 16. So that extra 3, It's like huge boost to confidence, morale. I wish I could do a shaving stream like that more often, but unfortunately, it could technically only happen once a year. And that's probably not going to happen next year because why repeat that again? But anyway, so we've often looked to heroes as archetypes for what we consider admirable behavior a lot of the time. Yes, we do have anti-heroes. We've had anti-heroes for a really long time, and they're also a very big part of the structures that we have, because anti-heroes allow us to look at what behaviors and what ideals might be used to achieve certain goals that may not be within the best choices. Okay, because sometimes you don't have a good choice. You just need to make a choice and hope it works out for the best. Anti-heroes teach us that sometimes you have to step out of a certain moral compass in order to accomplish something. And even though it may be damaging to your character, you're able to achieve a greater good. Now, we'll stop and talk about the greater good mindset real quick. I personally think that that's an incredibly damaging mindset. I've always been a person who has helped the individual over the group, over the whole, because the greater good is often at detriment to individual safety, individual freedoms, individual thoughts, creation, and all of this stuff, because the greater good is what they're pushing right now in a large political sense in our world, across the world, trying to get us all to think collectively and think of the human race as a whole. When we, if we're being honest, and this is my misanthrope coming out, humanity fucking sucks. Plain and simple. It does. Humans are awesome on an individual level most of the time. Okay, some of the time. But when you boil it down to the group collective, it's literally just a hot mess of stupid bullshit 88.9% of the time, for a random arbitrary percentage that I throw out there. Now, the problem we have with modern day entertainment is they're forcibly changing the morals in which we've established our set archetypes. Superman has openly killed someone with very little restraint or repercussion following said fact, not even on an emotional level, as we saw in The Man of Steel. Batman is still technically Batman, but they're changing him a lot in comic books. We're running out of Western heroes to focus on and Western heroes to learn from. Overcoming fear with Hal Jordan's Green Lantern. Being able to maintain your moral compass, no matter what, through Batman, etc., etc. And of course, the companies that are in charge of these intellectual properties are the most corrupt people in the world, and therefore should not be teaching us about morals in any way, shape, or form. Especially when it boils down to Disney's Marvel shit. Like, what the fuck do they know about actual morality at this point? What do they know about what it means to be a hero? They don't know anything. They know how to lose money. I'll give them that. They know how to lose money like crazy. I've seen compulsive gamblers lose money slower than Disney. All right. I've seen a million people that you'd think, wow, these people are really bad with money. Nope, not like Disney. Not like Disney. Okay. But that's part of the problem is the original morals and archetypes that we used to get from heroes, even from back in the day, Hercules, Perseus, etc., etc. You name them, they had virtues worth extolling, worth exploring, and worth actually internalizing. A dedication to helping those in need, a dedication to solving a problem. To quote Big Weld from the movie Robots, you see a need, you fill a need. That's what it was to be a hero back in the day. All right. if Hercules were an actual person, I could guarantee you he helped build a couple buildings or do some shit that wasn't necessarily hero material in back in the day. You know, there's an altruistic, kind heart that goes along with being an actual hero, even if you fucking hate humanity. That's just plain and simple. The problem we have today is we're taking these heroes that we've looked up to for so long and we're literally breaking them apart so that they mean nothing. Because if a society doesn't have heroes, then they choose new heroes. And the problem I have with that is the new heroes they want us to choose are walking pieces of garbage. I mean, if you can relate to Captain Marvel, or you can relate to any insert bitchy ass fucking hoe hero name, She-Hulk, whatever, if you can relate to them, then you and I probably wouldn't get along very well, because that's incredible selfishness, in my opinion, that you see from these heroes. Like, fuck them. Now, in modern day, I have noticed a huge shift, especially in the younger generations, towards heroes being exemplified in anime. And it's a very strange thing, because when you think anime, the first thing that pops into your head is like an over focus on the female form. And I know I'm not being a woke bitch right now. I love titties, so don't get me wrong. It's a matter of, like, you can see how messed up the Japanese creators are. They're focused, how horny they are, how much they love violence and all this other stuff. But the writers that work on these shows have actually taken a step in the right direction towards what a hero archetype actually is. And they've done a better job, in my opinion, of humanizing these said heroes throughout a lot of their works. I've also noticed that a lot of the animes that I watch, anyway, are focusing very heavily on old traditional Bushido standards. And that's one of the things that Americans used to look up to, at least back in like the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. The way of the warrior. They used to look at it and actually see that that was a positive thing. You know, it extolled honor, it extolled loyalty. I'm using that word wrong. I don't know why that word is still stuck in my brain. I'm just going to get rid of it. They were Bushido is a great example of loyalty and honor and a dedication to simple living and doing what's right, regardless of the personal detriment that may come. And that's something that we don't see in modern heroes, not from the Western world anyway. And it's my personal opinion that we're getting better representation of heroes through things like anime than we are through traditional means of Western entertainment, such as our superheroes. Okay, that's the argument that I'm making today. If you disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments or in the live chat. But realistically, Western media has all but abandoned a true hero archetype. It's always the broken guy. And I mean broken in a way that's like, how are you a hero and not a serial killer? This even applies to, say, Batman and stuff like that, because when you look at it, they make them walking pieces of shit every time, who just happen to do the right thing at the right time, and therefore they're classified as heroes. They don't actually live by a code anymore. And the hero's code, was you look out for those who are weaker than you. You stand up for what is actually just, not just what is said to be legal. You don't go out for personal gain above all else. You when you set a goal in mind, you actually step out to achieve it. You don't take a bunch of sideline bullshit to complain about the patriarchy or et cetera, because there's a lot more to being a hero than just pushing social narratives. And that is why I think Western media and Western heroes are failing so badly right now. Yes, we have superhero fatigue thanks to the Marvel diarrhea that happened over the last fucking 5 years or so. Like, it started out great, but then all of a sudden the Taco Bell kicked in and it was just like all over the fucking place. Hail to Awesome One. He says, how, pale face? Oh. But when it boils down to heroes, you have, like, we can't accept what they're giving us right now, because heroes shape children's minds. Okay, those are the people we put out in front of our children most of the time, so that they can understand, like, certain aspects of life while being entertained and babysat by a screen sometimes. Hold on. Sorry. But when you boil down the psychology of a hero, it makes people a true hero, as presented through entertainment and through media, gives people something to aspire to. And it's like the superpowers that we see with superheroes. I mean, they're cool. They're awesome, but they're not what we actually connect with the characters. We connect with the basic raw human struggle of the hero themselves, regardless of who it is, even if they're not human. The problem that I have with modern entertainment is the struggle that the hero goes through is too petty, if we're being honest. Like, if you're a hero, you're probably not actually going to give a flying fuck if someone misgenders you. If you do, then you're not going to be a very good hero, because you don't have emotional control to handle what you're actually supposed to go through in your hero's journey. Again, DC, Marvel. To be a hero, you have to have the emotional control to be able to do that. And of course, I'm not focusing on production shortcomings that these people have, because I got news for you. It's bountiful, and most of it's in the fact that they're fucking brainwashed bitches who want to brainwash other people, and it's fucking terrible. But when you boil it down to it, the focus on Bushido in anime, in a lot of animes, reintroduces a lot of the old hero archetype ideals. Like, you're not out for profit when you're a hero. Most of the heroes you see in animes, with exception to a lot of the isekai stuff, are broke bitches traveling by themselves. Maybe they have a couple friends, but they're literally out to stop bad things from happening. I would use Goblin Slayer as an example. Okay, this is a more recent anime, and I'm not fully hooked on this anime. I'm not totally engaged like I was with Demon Slayer, but Goblin Slayer, especially the character Goblin Slayer himself, allows us to look at heroes that step out of the normal hero shit, what's expected. In the show, everybody expects the best adventurers to go after, the big demons and stuff like that. But Goblin Slayer focuses solely on goblins because he knows that they're still an issue and he knows that they're a threat. So a hero doesn't always focus on the big issues. Sometimes a hero will focus on small things to make sure that they don't become big things. And that's honestly what more heroes, in my opinion, should be exemplified as doing, is coming out and doing the job, regardless of whether it's big or important in everyone else's mind. And we don't see that with superheroes anymore. Like, you'll never see Batman stop a purse snatcher again. He's always going to be taking down a crime family or the Joker or someone like ridiculously powerful. He doesn't handle petty crimes. I'm sorry. That's below Batman's purview. You're not going to see that anymore. And if he does, then it's probably going to result in him getting like man shamed or some shit because he's got a penis and he's, not sticking it in another dude's ass or some shit. Just saying. Just saying. Awesome One says, too much soy. I agree. 5 years or so ago, I was asking for soy in my coffee. What was I thinking? You were thinking it couldn't possibly be that bad. And now you're like, holy shit. Because honestly, too much soy will give a man boobs. And I'm not kidding. It increases estrogen production. Women who are having problems with estrogen should just eat a fuckload of soy. Don't go into hormone replacement therapies. Just go get yourself some fucking soybeans and some shit like that. Trust me. But I agree. They fucking castrated the heroes. Completely. They cut their balls and their dick straight off, and they were like, no, you don't even get to be called a woman. You're just, you're a terrible father, you're a terrible, et cetera, and you can't look up to someone who's bad at everything. And that's the point of Western media these days, is to destroy the hero archetype. And I personally think that Eastern media, anime and such, does a better job of conveying what a hero actually should be than Western media in modern day. And I think it's because the Japanese and the Chinese, because I've seen some decent Chinese anime, don't give a fuck what gay people, black people, fucking Hispanics, or anybody else has to say about shit, because they're creating characters that are supposed to be human and have technically no racial identity. I mean, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but a lot of anime people are based off cats. Facial features, all kinds of shit like that. Fucking cats. Okay. That being said, they don't worry as much about the social repercussions of representation. And I think that's how it fucking should be everywhere. But, modern day Hollywood and all that bullshit, you're beating your head against a brick wall. It feels great when you stop, but we shouldn't stop. We got to keep pushing, keep hitting these people in the nuts where it counts. And the Marvels was a great example of that. Nobody fucking cared about the Marvels. Ever. Nobody. Excuse me. And you know why nobody fucking cared about the Marvels? Because they broke the hero archetypes. Yes, there is superhero fatigue. But if they would actually have the heroes doing heroic shit, people would care. That's what hooked me on Demon Slayer as an anime. Tanjiro, while many people have a problem with him being a whiny, crybaby little bitch, is actually a great example of what a hero is. He's terrified. He's unsure of himself. He's, limited, let's say, by a lot of various things, but he still pushes forward. He still does what needs to be done. And even on the point of dying, he does not give up. That's what a fucking hero is. Demon Slayer, once again, my favorite character, Rengoku. He is the epitome of a hero. He pushed forward until he got punched through the fucking heart, and he still never let go and never gave in to regret. And that's what a hero does. He doesn't regret the choices that he made at the end. He looks at them and goes, I hope I did enough, but for now, I'm done. And that's where we lose the heroes these days. They could do something amazing in Western media. They could do incredible shit, but instead they would rather have it that your heroes are nothing but worthless sacks of fucking shit that need some kind of secretary to back them up in order to make it work. And that's my personal opinion. They need some kind of secretary. And I say secretary to exemplify the fact that some woman is going to come in and save the fucking day. And I'm sorry, I'm not being sexist right now. Women don't have what it takes to be the true heroes of the generation. No offense, but that's just how it is. When you look at a hero, it has to be someone willing to sacrifice themselves for their mission. And women don't do that. Period. Joan of Arc notwithstanding. I don't know how you would phrase that, but let's be honest. You need a strong male hero, or you wind up with pussy fucking soy-soaked bitches everywhere. Just think about it. Does anyone believe that Batwoman could possibly be as good as Batman? No. Supergirl as good as Superman? Fuck no. You know why? Because strength is inherently a male trait. Female heroes have their place. Won't argue with that. But it's nowhere near the level that the male heroes are at. And I think that Japanese anime is still doing a better job of providing that than modern Western entertainment. Anywhere you look, it doesn't matter if it's cartoons, doesn't matter if it's movies, does not matter. Okay? I will get on my man soapbox real quick and just come out and say men are becoming too fucking soft, and a lot of it is the fact that the media castrates every fucking guy that exists. Period. Awesome One says women are designed to be caretakers and men providers. I agree with that largely, with exception to the fact that I have seen some very strong women in my life. That being said, they've always had a support structure to do it effectively. Women, especially in the hero setting, don't do it alone. They always have help. Men, like in real life, have to do it alone because there ain't nobody gonna fucking help you if you're a man. That's another lesson that they don't fucking teach you. In Western media, they teach you that men are pieces of shit and nothing more. And that's why we do everything alone. Because it's been drilled into us from the beginning of time that men don't need help. And that's bullshit. But again, a man receiving assistance from a woman or another man is often only effective if they can find some form of fellowship with their party, if you will. Okay? And I don't know about you guys, but when you take a bunch of women, especially powerful women, and you put them in the same room or put them on the same task, shit gets fucked up. Because every woman that's in a powerful position wants to be in control. And that runs for heroes as well. And we don't have real life heroes to look up to anymore. Every time we find a real life hero to look up to, they turn out to be a piece of shit. That's because you should never, ever expect a human being to stay a decent person. Now, a lot of people might have a problem with what I'm about to say. But when Keanu Reeves' Skeletons and Dark Side finally comes out, he's going to get punished more than any other actor in the entire world. Because you can't tell me he doesn't have skeletons in his closet. And they're looking for him. I can guarantee you they're looking for him so they can tear apart the last wholesome idol. And I call him wholesome with air quotes there because I've seen the jobs that he does. But let's be honest, he's probably a pretty screwed up individual. You can't be a normal person if you go through what he's gone through. And I'm not holding that against him. Everyone has skeletons. God knows that I've got mine. And a lot of them. But when you boil it down, you can't put human beings on a pedestal. The reason we have heroes is to have examples of what we should aspire to be. We can't do that with modern Western entertainment anymore. Just saying. Awesome One says, yeah, a man is like, how can we get this done? And we get it done regardless of leadership. Yeah, it's true. And I know a lot of women who have that mindset. Don't get me wrong. My wife is one of them. If it needs to get done, it gets done. But that is not the standard in society. It's not. And unfortunately, with my generation, the millennials, yeah, go figure, there's a shitload of lazy, worthless fucks with that Y chromosome. There is, because they expect everything to be handed to them and not have to do any work, not to have to step out of their comfort zone and possibly even help someone do what they need to do in order to achieve a true goal. And if you don't step outside of your comfort zone, talking to you soy-soaked millennial fuckers who share my generational curse of being alive right now, you have to step up or your life doesn't deserve to go anywhere. And that's really what heroes teach us. Fuck, you can look at John McClane. I know it's not a popular movie, but Live Free or Die Hard. You look at that movie and he says something very specific, very accurate, and very important in that movie. And he's that guy. We always have that guy. Nobody else is going to do it, so it's me. It's never that chick. It's never that gal. I'm just saying, it's always that guy. Because when it boils down to it, even if we're breaking under the pressure, men are more likely to follow through on the hard shit and not ask for help. Because a lot of the times when a man asks for help, he gets fucked. They're like, no, screw you. Do it yourself. Awesome One says, don't put your trust in princes and horses. Indeed. Nate D says, we have to put man on the pedestal since we removed God from it. That is a fair point. And that's actually one of the problems that we have with modern Western media is that they have to remove any concept of Christian morality. Which I don't know if they realize this or not. That's 99% of moral standing, of positive moral standings. Spit all over my screen. And Judeo-Christian, granted, it goes back way before Christianity. But a lot of what they're trying to squash right now is basic human morality. Don't kill, don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie, don't fuck your parents over, etc., etc. These kinds of things. Now the messages are kill the people you don't like. Look at the trans trenders and how crazy they get. Take what you think you deserve, regardless of whether you've earned it. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to be weak. The government will protect you. The police will help you. Because that's what they do, right? Don't think so. Without the morals that we established everything on, heroes don't exist. Because if you don't have the sense of morality that actually underpins basic human functioning, like the right to live, the right to be happy, the right to pursue your dreams and live peacefully, don't fucking matter. In any way, shape, or form. And that's what heroes originally were to the Western society. They were an example of what we want to be as human beings. But they removed that. Just like we removed God from the pedestal that he was on and put man on it. Which man is a corrupt creature from birth. Children lie as early as 3 months with their cries. It's an innate skill. Awesome One says, it started with the idea that truth is relative to your situation and not a fact until disproved. That is also true. Honesty and actual truth. Truth and fact don't give a fuck about emotion, don't give a fuck about opinion. Your perception is not reality. I've said this numerous times, and Awesome One hits it great. Truth is not relative. Truth is truth. Truth, justice, and the American way. That was Superman. And it was just truth and justice. Now it's just social justice. Because they don't fucking care about truth. They want to see punishment instead of grace. And I'm not speaking of just on a religious standing of grace. I'm talking about actual human grace. Forgiveness. Allowing people to make mistakes. Making sure that there are consequences for them. But still allowing them to exist as human beings. Okay? And we don't do that anymore. We live in a where our world's heroes are fucking ethot cunts that sell cookies and beer with their vaginal yeast. When those kinds of people should probably be fucking thrown in a ditch somewhere. My personal opinion. Come at me. I don't fucking care. Let's be honest, though. Truth is the underpinning of a hero. Veritas. Because a true hero only relies on truth to get him through things. And when the truth is revealed to a hero who's been deceived, they do what is necessary to correct that. They don't lean into it. They don't beat themselves up to the point that they give up their hero's mind or heart. They push forward and they keep going and they learn and live with the mistakes, learn from and live with the mistakes that they made. And that's not something we push in today's society either. There is no accountability. Heroes push accountability. There could be made the argument about Superman and Batman destroying a bunch of fucking cities and then et cetera, et cetera. But everybody knows Bruce Wayne pays for everything that he breaks. Nate D says, American Way from Superman is literally Judeo-Christian morality. It is. But that's what they're trying to destroy. They're trying to destroy not only the American way, but the idea and concept of actual individual freedom. And that's what heroes are for. I mean, again, another thing that heroes have given us over time that we are no longer seeing in modern day world is doing what's right, following the truth, seeking actual justice. Actual justice. Okay. According to Superman, that's making sure they get arrested and they face the law. According to other people, it's making sure that they pay for their crimes in an exact and equal manner, such as dying. But the reality of a hero is the hard choices that they have to make and then live with every single day. Personally, I don't want my heroes making a mistake and then blaming it on somebody else. I don't want my heroes, fictional or otherwise, to step out and go, yeah, it's fine if I do this bad thing because you like me. That's why celebrities make terrible heroes, even on screen these days, because they cannot even understand a hero's heart. They cannot understand what it is to step out of your own life and do for other people. Look at the fucking Rock. All right. He likes to pretend to be a hero on screen and pretend to be a hero in real life. But he, like all of the other celebrities, are all fucking talk and all conceited, self-centered motherfucking people. Okay? That's all they are. They're not actual heroes. I don't give a shit how much Chris Pratt or anybody else goes to a fucking Make-A-Wish Foundation or visits dying little kids or whatever. You're not fucking doing anything to actually help in any situation. You show up and they go, oh my gosh, that's great. And then they die. Did you do did you donate money to fucking actually research the disease that they're dying from? Probably not. Did you take time to help rebuild communities? Probably not. Have you taken, no, you tell all of the poor people in your area that just lost their fucking homes to donate money. Give them your money because mine's too important. My time is too important to help these plebs and these fucking peasants. Just saying. You know, as a peasant, every celebrity in the world can get fucked. Just saying. Because they're not heroes. And we should never put them on the pedestal of being heroes. Awesome One says, God blesses his people and honor those who bless them. Indeed. Awesome One says, where was Rock during the Maui? He was asking you to donate your money to save them when this man is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And what did he give? You know what he gave? I think it was like $3 million. Oprah gave 7, some weird shit like that. That'll go a long way. I'm sure the people of Maui really love you, you fucking cock. Rock the cock. That's what he does because he's a bitch. And you also have to pay attention when people are trying to sell you the idea of a hero, to why they're selling you this person as a hero, regardless of whether it's in real life or in entertainment. Are they selling you this to try and get some strange idea of behavior into your head? Or are they selling you this to just try and make a profit? Is there any actual morals to the stories anymore? There's really not. And personally, I think we should focus on anime far more than Western media, as long as the anime, of course, is good and is in line with what we personally believe to be moralistically acceptable. And I know that's mostly a relative idea, but you have to understand that without our heroes in the media, without actual engaging heroes in our media, our children who rely on said media for babysitting and all kinds of fucking programming will wind up those broken assholes that we see and fucking hate every single fucking day. Period. Awesome One says, Black Adam was a me-first person forced to help to meet his needs, not to be a hero. Exactly. You have to know why they're doing it. Motivation matters with heroes. Okay? Motivation matters with heroes because motivation decides whether or not you're a hero or you're just a selfish prick doing a good thing for bad reasons. Or bad things for good reasons. The anti-hero argument. And Black Adam is a perfect example of why heroes are hard to establish. Because Black Adam works for himself. That's it. He works for himself. And doesn't care about anyone else, really, except when they help him towards his own means. That's not a hero. It's not. That's a fucking shady-ass businessman in the United States. That's a fucking e-thought tuber. That's not a hero. Heroes are supposed to inspire us, lift us up, and give us something to try and achieve. Will we ever achieve human flight? Probably not. Will we ever have laser beams shooting out of our eyes? Probably not. Can we save a life and feel good about it? Yes. I'm not going to go into details about this because it violates the idea of altruism. But I've saved enough lives to know that being a hero oftentimes feels like shit, but is the single most internally rewarding thing that you can do. Okay? It's just plain and simple. When you save a life, honestly save a life, not just from a mugger or a murderer or someone having a drug overdose or something like that, but like when you pull a person out of the darkness, that's being a hero. You take someone from their dark corner of the world where they think that they're always going to be alone, and you bring them into the light to see that there are other people out there who care about them and are able to push them to be better. That is a heroic thing to do. And in these days of incredible darkness that we see, both in human interaction, human selfishness, we need more people willing to pull others out of the darkness. Because when it boils down to it, a hero isn't just about saving a life from imminent danger. It's often about saving someone from the darkness within themselves and the darkness that's within their mind that is far more powerful and far more deadly than even arsenic. It's far more damaging than getting smashed by a truck at 70 miles an hour because you die inside. And that is what a hero tries to prevent, is the death of the spirit, the human spirit that decides it needs to keep pushing forward and it needs to be able to improve the quality of living for not only itself, but those around them. You don't have to care about everyone. But as long as you're doing good for the people in your life that you do care about, in my opinion, then you can be considered a real-life hero. I do not view myself as a hero, and I'm not trying to prop myself up as to be one. But as we all pull from inner, like, personal experiences and lived experience and examples and stuff like that, that's where I come from. Life worth living outside of my family members is the knowledge that I have the ability and I have used these abilities to save a life and improve it. That's what a hero should be. They're not focused on just stopping death, just stopping loss. They're focused on making sure that the human spirit doesn't die. Even if it's just one individual, that makes you a greater hero than any person you'll see in Hollywood. It'll make you a greater hero than any person that you'll ever see in any type of political structure. And it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the Eastern countries, you could be in Western countries, you could be in the Middle East. It doesn't matter. Saving one life from the darkness is heroic. And we need more people willing to just go out and do that. Save one person. That's the idea. That's the goal. You save one person and you're automatically doing better than 99% of the selfish motherfuckers that exist in this world. Just saying. Awesome One says, I think Obama was the first to remove merit schools from inner city because it wasn't fair to the dumb, unmotivated one. That wouldn't surprise me either. You know, it said you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Congratulations to everyone involved in any type of American politics, the education system, the medical system, and everywhere else in America. You are now the villain. Plain and simple. If you're in an administrative capacity in charge of any of these fields, you are a fucking bad guy because you're not doing anything to stop or change the problems or actually improve the situations. You're not heroes. I will never consider a teacher an everyday hero. I will never consider a politician a hero. I will consider my firefighters, police officers, military men and women to be heroes if they conduct themselves in a way that is honoring their station. You cannot honor a station if your job is to brainwash people. You do not have an honorable station if your job is to subjugate people and force them to follow your bullshit rules. That's politicians and educators right there. And as far as the medical field goes, fuck you, doctors. I don't trust you a bit. But that's a whole different story. Paramedics and nurses are heroes far more than doctors are these days, in my opinion. And that's where I'll leave that one. But if we're being honest, heroes, while a lot of people will say heroes are dead, I would argue that they're not. Because if you take the ideals of the heroes that you worshipped as a child and that you saw as a child, and you take the actual virtuous nature of that individual and you internalize it to the point that it makes you a better person, then your heroes aren't dead. Even if they've twisted them and killed them in modern bullshit, they're not dead. They're alive right fucking here. And that's where we need to keep the actual heroes alive. Plain and simple. I just went on a fucking hour-long rant about all this. Well, 50 minutes at the moment. But like let's just be real. The heroes that we need in our society are no longer on screen. They are no longer in the pages of your book. They are no longer in the radio. They're sitting in your fucking chair right now. They're staring at the screen. Because whether you guys realize it or not, in order to have heroes in modern times, we have to be the heroes. We have to be willing to step out of the comfort zones and put ourselves on the line to stop other people from suffering. And that is something that is incredibly rare. It's almost as rare as common sense, which isn't common anymore, but still, nonetheless. You have to be willing to put yourself on the line. And there's too much selfish bullshit going on in the world for us to have a decent amount of real life heroes. Plain and simple. Awesome One says, this is all spiritual, a rewriting of reality to return society to be slaves to elites and wicked spiritual powers. I will actually agree with that. This is a huge regression into what we escaped a long time ago. We had almost a couple hundred years. It was a good run, but now we have to fight for it. We have to be willing to stand up and say that I am going to be the hero that not only my family needs, but maybe even my community needs. Because laziness is the problem these days. Period. And while I seriously regret that Jason wasn't able to make it today, I hope you guys had a good time. I'm going to go ahead and wind it down because, unfortunately, I do have to go to work. Yeah. I sacrificed my day off today because other people need stuff. So, anyway, I'm going to bounce. Thank you, Awesome One, Nate D. Thank you, TZ Burton. Everybody who came and chatted. Thank you for everyone who watched this live and for everyone on the live or on the replay. Thank you very much. If you want to support the channel, then hit the Ko-Fi link. It will be in the description very soon. Hail to Parrot Head, and thank you. I will. Ooh, TZ Burton says, check your Ko-Fi. Okay. Let's go to your page. TZ Burton. Kick off this book drive. Hell yeah. Thank you, bro. I don't know why it's not showing. Like, where's. There it is. $5. Thank you very much for the $5. I wanted to be able to recognize your actual contribution, and I get confused by things that I've been using for years. Go figure. TZ Burton says, let's kick off this book drive. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate that. That puts us $5 towards $125 for the textbook. Again, if you guys want to donate to help me get this Psychology of Entertainment textbook, then please head on over to the Ko-Fi link, kofi.com/SirTaxalot. And any amount helps, honestly. It will go directly to improving the channel, obviously. Psychology is my freaking... I love it. I nerd out on it more than anything else. More than Nerdrotic on pop culture. I'm just... psychology. And it's been a long time since I've had a good new textbook to read. And this one's actually the most recent revised edition. It's Psychology of Entertainment. Trust me, it'll help make this channel and a lot of other things very, very good. It'll be awesome. So if you guys want to help me out with that, then please do. Awesome One says, as my dad says, make your work your favorite. Make work your favorite. That's weird. But I can understand that. Well said, Dad. Nate D says, very good rant, Cory. Thank you. And TZ says, I like Ko-Fi. I don't mind it either. It's a good place to route some payments. It's good stuff. And it allows me at least a little bit of engagement with my fans and my viewers and my friends. So that's awesome. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get bouncing, get ready for work. All of you, stay sexy. Don't get murdered. And as always, have a wonderful time. Bye.